his own career out and made quite a splash down in Australian International Cup a couple of years ago. They actually refer to him, and I'll switch on up with you there, Brian. They refer to him down under as the American BT, or back here in Australia, and BT is a very, very famous commentator on Australian television, and I will introduce to you the USAFL media manager, former Philadelphia Hawk player, and lyrical genius extraordinaire, Brian Barish. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Grilla. I think you're way too kind with your words, but I appreciate it greatly. Good morning, Lakewood Ranch. Good morning, Sarasota, Bradenton County. How's it going? How you doing?
I'm doing well. That was a great match there. Columbus Cats.
Yeah.
Because the Cats lost to Philadelphia Hawks, obviously, last year in that semi-final. So they're coming back with something to prove. And I know all this, Brian, from your magnificent spectacular a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We had a couple of hundred people watching that as well as we unveiled. Of course, we've had some changes as we do in the USAFL between here and there, but. It's great to. It's like I always thought that the Nationals reveal should be something like the NCAA Selection Sunday for basketball, and I'm glad that we're able to do that. Getting pretty excited for this game here as we see, by the way, the Oklahoma Okies with their brand new jumpers. And a story about them, Grill, is that they were the Tulsa Buffaloes and the Oklahoma City Flyers. They were two teams for a couple of years. The Tulsa Buffaloes go all the way back to about 2010, and then 2 years ago they joined together as one. They were just the Oklahoma Football Club. And I'd like a little bit of credit for just calling them the Okies because they didn't have a nickname at the time. And I was just like, we'll just call them the Okies. But, their new jumpers there, the black with the red and the white. Now, they have not won a game this season, and I got the chance to see them in Philadelphia play. They brought a bit of an undermanned side, but they played very hard, and I expect that in this game today. And I believe they're going up against the Denver boys as well, the Denver Bulldogs. And you're going to see a lot of familiar names there. Yeah. Guys like Philip Camping, guys like Rich Mann.
Vanica.
Yeah, I think Andy's playing on the Division One side still.
Gee, he's doing well then. So, all right, and Denver. And so, Denver, have you seen a lot of their B-side play this year? I mean, what's your prediction for these matches? Let's have a look at Denver. You should know the stats on Denver coming into the season.
Yeah, well, the Denver's reserve side won the Division II regional championships in the Central Regionals, which they hosted on their own, which they hosted there in Westminster, Colorado back in July. And what was great about that, Grill, is you see the difference, even though they're a so-called reserve side, they do play very skillful football. I mean, just because there's a fair amount of new guys, there's the older guys as well, the veterans, they still are very knowledgeable with the football, and a lot of times that makes up for a lot of what teams lack.
Now, some of the talent in the Okies there, we talk about core U.S. talent, Brian, in Rose, Raspolt, and Kaywood. Can you expand on that for me, please?
Thank you, well, Rosie is, as we just got the rosters here, thank you, sir. Rosie has played, been a candidate on the eye of Tommy Ellis for the Revolution, and he can play just about anywhere on the ground. Really impressed with Mr. Kaywood as well, because he can show up just about anywhere on the ground as well. The Okies have always been a very hard-nosed team, and we'll talk about a guy like Shane Hood. And he's a guy that, you might be able to get around him, but you're not going to be able to get through him.
And, it's a Division III match.
Yeah.
And I heard on the Spectacular, and Tom Ellis will be joining us too, and I believe he's going to be the man doing the role when it comes to ESPN 3 time on Sunday, perhaps at the ground level. We'll see. But he's a US Revolution coach, and what I'm trying to say, though, is he spoke about on the Spectacular.
Yeah.
Even though this is a Division III match, he can find a diamond in a rough. And what I'm talking about is the US Revolution squad, which is on the road to Melbourne. It's going to be named in a week or two.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that some of these clubs, there aren't maybe as established as some of the other ones, but you look at the clubs, you look at Oklahoma, they have a breadth of American talent. Of course, Denver has brought up a lot of American talent. We mentioned Andy Vanica, even though he's going to be playing up in Division I. But we look at some of these sides here, and the one thing I'll say about the Okies is that, like I said, it's really, thank you, it's really interesting to see how these teams grow. Oklahoma, we just saw Columbus, which is a mostly American side. We see Des Moines. We just saw them over on Field 4. They're an all-American side. I don't think they have a single Australian on them. So it's interesting to see how they build up. And we're seeing an abundance of that. We're seeing more focus on local talent, and that's just going to make things like the national team, like the Revolution, and we see it on the women's side with the Freedom even better.
Oh, and listening to the spectacular too, and obviously knowing Tommy, who's been a roommate of mine for a number of years, not this year, I've got Chet Ritno, and we talk about the participation rule. It has to be a 50-50 thing. You're either you're a national or you're a non-national.
Yeah.
Which is proven by a passport or a birth or whatever certificate you want to have. But he speaks about the fact that he's looking for bring it down from 9 Australians on a side to 7.
Yeah, and there's been talk about that in the competition committee as well, the idea of the rule of 7, which of course comes down based on if it's a smaller size field. So if you're dealing with 16 aside, obviously it's less than that. But it would be great to see teams that would normally rely on Australians now have to focus more on local talent and have to recruit a little bit harder from local. And that's the point. I mean, the fact that we have 75% of our participants are American. So the fact that we have, that number is growing, and it's great that we have Australians come over and share their love of the great game with us, but we would love to see more Americans get involved and more Americans be involved with the system.
Well, more should get around this particular field here. Cooper's Field, Field 1, USAFL Nationals, Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Florida. Many thanks to the Braden Area Sports Commission. Visit Sarasota, beaches and beyond. And this is not something that has been beyond Sarasota, because this is our second time here, Brian.
Yep. Yeah, we did, and it was just as hot. Well, it's getting hotter, and I think that if you drew the 9 o'clock game, because I was talking to some of the Houston boys yesterday, they were playing Philadelphia. I feel like if you drew the 9 o'clock or the 10 o'clock game, you've won the weather lottery, because it was in the 70s. It's going to get up into the 80s, and it's supposed to top out at around 89 or 90 in the next couple of hours. So, fitness is going to definitely come into play, especially if you're one of those teams that had to play 2 games in this heat.
The only saving grace is that the rain has disappeared, so the humidity is down. It was powerfully warm during the week. Umpires for this match
are in the packet.
In the packet, and the wrong way around. Of course, my good buddy there, Greg Everett, in the middle with Barrett. They'll be officiating as central umpires, and our goal umpires are Pittard and Roop, Laurie Roop. She's she was officiated in the main match, or the first match, and she's on a bike and ride, and she's in the goal. She's talk about umpire Roop to me, please, there, Brian.
She, for me, and we've had a lot of really good umpires currently in the system now, but Laurie is definitely one of the best. She's definitely one of the most knowledgeable umpires, and what's great is she works a lot with the women.
Yeah.
We did clinics for the women's sides at each of the regional tournaments during the season, and she's worked with the teams and the USA Freedom so that they know what the umpires are looking for, and to help expand the knowledge of the game, especially with a lot of these women that are coming in who have never played the game before.
And of course, the umpire clinic was on yesterday at 1 o'clock, and we have some pretty good fabric from Australia that came over too, and ran those clinics for us.
Yeah, Ray Chamberlain, Hayden Gavine, Shane McInerney, who is at 500 AFL games umpired, which is astronomical, and the man Chris Donlin as well. And we are so thankful that they've come over for the second consecutive year. And I'm glad they're enjoying the fact that it's a little bit warmer than it was last year in Racine.
Okies kicking with the breeze, as we can see from the 3 flags, the proud flags there. Would have to be a 2 or 3 goal breeze. We saw in the second half of the last match that Chicago were able to come home on a rally with it. Okies are kicking with it. Columbus didn't use it too well in the last match. Even though the breeze is at your back and you think to yourself, yep, I can roll with this, and accuracy becomes paramount in this match.
Yeah, especially with the wind swirling the way it is. As you can see the flags in the background, or at least you can see them if you're here at the ground or at home on Go Live Sportscast. The umpire holds the spirit of this great game aloft. This is a Division III match between the Denver Bulldogs Reserves and the Oklahoma Okies here on Go Live Sportscast and the Premier Sports Campus at Lakewood Ranch. At some point, we'll hear a hooter. There it is. Rod Grulisich, get us started.
Thanks very much, Brian, as Everett tosses it to the heavens and says, can this be loved? And lovers with the Okies out of the center. Rebounds though to number 23 there for Denver, who was camping. Cut off at the pass and pumped the jam down towards the half-forward flank are the Okies. This could become a 2-on-1 situation. I'll get my body in front and square, and I've got a backdoor man, and I'm going to bust through the pack, and I can't. I'm tackled, caught holding the ball. A free kick there to Denver.
Great play in there by the number 5 for the Oklahoma Okies, Alex Marakian, who played here in Tampa for the old Florida Redbacks before moving on to Philadelphia, and now with Oklahoma. Up the far side they go. Ball comes to ground. It tumbles out of there. Good pressure put in, and now the Bulldogs have the football. Running backwards there was the number 9 in Brent Dowling. He's another one of those old dogs that we keep talking about, or at least he's a veteran. I don't know that he'd be like calling an old dog, but in any event, ball goes to ground. Picked up again by Oklahoma. Through the hands there of the number 3, Deshaun Clark. Clark stays with the football now, and now there's a team meeting around the football, and they're going to schedule some memos. It's sent into the middle of the ground. Oklahoma will go after it. They paddle it out in front. Who wants it? Denver picks it up. A little, don't argue, a little okey doke by Michio McGrath, and the umpire says that is a free kick, and it will go the way of the Okies, resplendent in their brand new Jumpers Grill.
Yeah, it is. Intensity is high. Fever rising. We'll send it down towards the centre half forward position. Who can cure the lonely position of the ball? A handball at the back. Happy to be the backdoor man as the Okies. We don't have the number, but I'll pump the jam, pump it up. There was a forward line and park myself in front and marked by the number 2. Who he is, Brian?
I don't know.
Downtown, shot on goal, on its way. Straight, I want to be great.
No.
Touched 1 point.
Past the Dutchie on the right-hand side.
It did. 1 point, but they draw first blood. The Okies on the Cooper scoreboard. 1 point. Denver yet to score, Brian.
Good penetration there by the Okies. Let's see if they can keep this up against this talented Denver side. They hold the ball in their back right pocket where I keep my keys. Boy, it hurts when I sit down. As it comes out to the near side, it drops in front. Clark keeping vigil, but it's going to be picked up there by one of the Bulldogs, but it's chopped off at the pass, just like Tonto. And then the little shovel handball through. Here come the Okies. Oh, big tackle put in there, and that was an earth-shaking tackle put in there by Jeremy O'Connell, who sent that one forward after the free kick. They all go down mushroom farming right on the Premier Sports Campus logo, right in between. That was drawn by the turf tank a couple of days ago in beautiful robotic style. Long handball out the back. That's Chris Cox, who dropped the pill, picked up by Clark. Little shovel handball on it. Here come the Bulldogs. Sending that one forward is Troy Kirk, who we saw yesterday in the skills comp. Little 1-2 do-si-do. Again, picking that one up is Garcia. Garcia is going to send that one in. It tails off the side and just sneaks in. Backdoor Johnny through the behind post for 1 point. All square on the Cooper scoreboard. It's the Bulldogs 1, the Okies 1, Grillo.
Yeah, Cooper's scoreboard. Cooper's tent open at 12 o'clock. Get your tickets to ride. And your cash system, though, when it comes to 4 and 20 pies. The hottest pies with a little tomato sauce. Serve it up again for second course. Fullback position, Okies, quick fire game. The pace is a little quicker than the first one I did see. Who will I see now? Down at the right half-back flank. Oh, couldn't connect. Ball hits the ground. Keeps it alive. Keep yourself alive. Picking up the money, honey, was the Okies, but I couldn't. Denver a chance. Pump it up high. Forward line deep. Out the side door. Spinorama 21 there for Denver. That was Kirk. Couldn't. Moving the chains towards the forward line. Hang on, I'm coming, says Kirk to ground. They come to get down. The umpire come in and say, holding the ball. Prior opportunity. And the Okies will get a chance to clear the present danger, Brian.
They'll shake the Etch-a-Sketch and try and draw up something new. Will the Oklahoma Okies 1-1 the score first half here on Go Live Sportscast in the Lakewood Ranch Premier Sports Campus. Bounces in front of his chest. Ball goes to ground. Clark is going to spin him around, right round, baby, like a record. Pick that one up, a little short through. Grillo like that. That's good. Long chipping kick, probing ball. Kirk, yes, takes the mark there. The number 21 in Troy Kirk presented well and set it up for a nice mark there, Grill.
That he has, Kirk. He is displaying the fact he's going to be key in this match, Brian.
Absolutely. This will come from from a 45-degree angle, about 45 meters out. The journey is there, the direction isn't, and it dies in the goal square just like my hopes and dreams, and it will be a free kick now for the Okies. They look that one out of the back. It is 1-1 the score. As they go out to the far side now, little chip kick, and they're going to try and put it together with dinks and doinks, and that one is sent long. That was longer than a doink. That was a chunk, just just like my 13-pound cat. Ball goes to ground. I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go along. Send that one up on the far side now, over the head there of the 16, or the 18 rather. That was Sean Clark. Went after the football now, and again, Denver trying to push and probe, and we have a push in the back there, and it will be a, well, it looks like it'll be a free kick, Grill.
That it will be. Umpires out there, Barrett and Everett. Chance to compose themselves on the outer side. In fact, boundary throw-in, Brian, by the looks. They're tossing it in. Like a wheel, I'm gonna spin it. And it is at the right half forward flank for the Okies. Denver, where will I go at the pack? Find an alley out towards another Denver player who says, oh, I've got the moves and the pace, and who will I find at left half forward? That man again we spoke about there, and Kirk. Kirk sends it centre half forward, high above me, looking lovely. Okie 2-on-1, whistle on the play, free kick against Denver, going the way of Oklahoma. Illegal contact, the Okie doke. What have we got in the middle? Nobody. Ball bounces free. Okies on a rampage. Not on my watch, the number 44. McGrath. Couldn't find anybody in particular. Okies another chance. I'll get it everything I've got, and I've got it down towards the forward line, out over the back, and this thing called wrap. Spin out of the pack, straight. Want to be great from downtown. No one could mark. Boundary line looms. It's over and out. The number 19 you could see for Denver was Posse. And that's the way it is, Brian. Deep down and dirty in the forward pocket for the Okies.
The Posinator going back and trying to get it. Great run out of the back by Chris Cox, the man from Oklahoma City. Used to play for Wyoming University, or the University of Wyoming if you prefer to be correct, and I generally try to as best I can, as the ball just barely stays in. It's trapped in the wickets, off stump, leg stump, middle stump, I don't know. Ball goes to ground, and in fact it will roll out of bounds on the Cooper scoreboard. It is Denver 1, Oklahoma 1. Division III match here. Brian Barish alongside the Grilla, Rod Grillisich, as the ball comes spinning back in the play. Again, it goes to ground. They try and get it out short, and here come the doggies. Whoop! And that one goes off the side. Well, somebody alert the Sarasota Zoo, because I just saw a shankopotamus. They might want to catch it. Good
pressure around the ball there by the Okies when it was released, forced the error. Errant kick did develop. That's straight. Who'll be great sliding in, no mark. Let the record play. Found itself in the defence of Denver. I give it to you, give it to me. Composure. I've got the mark, the number 17. 17 there is Johnson. Will he jettison? No, he won't. Finds a man free. We've spoken about him. Couldn't connect there, and Kirk on his knees, I guess. Ball is ram-rated out of bounds. We'll toss it in, Mr. Bartender. Want to get high, want to get loose, want a shot of that Cooper's juice come at 12 o'clock, Brian.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's the lunch hour and the witching hour, depending on what side you're on. As the ball comes spinning back in the play. And right in front, it's a crash boom opera picked up there by the Okies. Okey doke. Little handball up over the top, looking for Marakian, who can handle it cleanly. Does on the second bite of the cherry. He spun around quickly in there by Danny Kerwin. And that one we're going to hear Mr. Kerwin in just a little bit, as that one is cleared out by the Okies. Again, trying to put that one in, and all of that is going to lead to 1 point on the Cooper scoreboard as it goes between the big stick and the little stick for 1 point. It's the Oklahoma Okies 2, Denver 1, as Luke Durkin puts the ball back into play for Denver to Grilla.
Durkin elects to go to right half back attack. Didn't find anybody at the ground level. I've got the numbers and the strength and numbers, and to the wing again. Those numbers, Kirk couldn't quite hang on, but goes back in for more. Okie, you've got him double teamed, and I'll tiptoe it down towards the centre half forward region. Bustling through out of my way. I'm like a truck full of rhythm and blues was the number 1 there, and Durkin dobs it towards the centre position, but well read by Oklahoma. Out towards the wing, no connection there. Finds a hand on the top, leaves without it. In is Denver, took his eyes off the ball. He's beset upon by the tyranny of evil men and deemed not to have didn't release the ball. So he was tackled, Brian, elected to sit on it. The umpires are right on it and said free kick to the Okies. They kicked deep in the forward line, whistle on the play. So I'll have to go back to once where it came, because I believe he didn't kick behind the mark. No, 50-metre penalty. Probably encroached on the mark, the Okies. So a chance here. maybe to extend the play or extend their lead. Umpire Everett in the mix as his free kick, and it's well within scoring range, Brian Barish.
Yeah, it's well within the radar range here, and going back, well, it's going to be the number 19, I believe, for the Oklahoma Okies, and that's one thing you cannot do. Well, firstly, you can't give up a 50-meter penalty like that, or 25 in this case, but you also can't drag the ball in as they'll go back, looking for their first major score of the game. The height is there, the distance is there. Everybody clatters into the goalpost. Where did the ball end up? Well, it ended up behind the sticks, says our goal umpire to the left. He said it was touched on the line. On the Cooper scoreboard, Oklahoma 3 behinds, Denver 1 behinds. That's a lot of behinds as they come out to the near side now. Looking up, and nice mark taken over the shoulder there. Believe that was camping once again. He's got a man on the near side, and Jeff Shakespeare, I love his sonnets, out to the near side, and the mark is taken right in front of us once again by Alex Johnson. Johnson right in front of Grilla and I on our Go Live Sportscast cameras. Going to send that one to the near side. Goes up high. That one is punched out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in, and it will occur about 70 meters around from the Denver target as they trail 3-1 on the Cooper scoreboard. Grilla.
21, Kirk looming. Keep your eye on him. A lot of players around the ball. Toss in. Who'll assume front position? The big Okies ruckman. Missed that. Missed everybody. Me, you, them, everybody. Everybody wants that body in the middle. That thing they want to love. Sweetheart with lips like cherries on top. Tapped down there by Okies towards the boundary. Denver have it. Number 9 smothered off his boot was Dowling. And it's over and out. Toss in once again, Brian.
Boundary throw-in will occur. Whenever the ball goes out of bounds, we have a boundary umpire who will throw the ball back into his head, and the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Don't worry, I'll be tomorrow. Actually, yes, I do. I'll be right here with Grilla, calling on Go Live Sportscast and ESPN3. That's exciting as the ball goes to ground, and, well, that'll be a free kick. It will go the way of the number 14. 1-4 is unlisted here. I know Steve Noble's down there. He might be able to tell me who that is, but in point of fact, it will be it'll be a free kick. And here's another free kick. It's another thing that's happening as the ball comes out in off of hands. Again, going after it. There's Clark. Clark, little dipsy-do dunkaroo, like Dick Vitale one time, as that one is sent in. Punched down again, and it comes back, clatters into the middle of the ground. Little short handball. How about this? The bootleg, the setup, and the score. Goal there to the 28, and Nick Garneau unlisted there, the number 28. But in any event, it's the first major score of the game. Wait, who is it? Drew Moore, thank you. Drew Wolf, thank you. Here it is, down here at the bottom, number 28. Drew Wolf kicks the goal, and on the Cooper scoreboard, it's the Denver Bulldogs 1-1-7, the Oklahoma Okies 3. It's a 4-point lead, Grill.
It is. It's a 4-point lead, but when you kick one against the breeze, Brian, it's often worth 2. So they've got one in the bank about halfway through this first half of football. Always good to score on the breeze, and again, it was a power forward that determined the fact that power forwards, because this is what I saw with Columbus Cats too. They had some heavy hitters in the forward line, and it seems like Denver do have 2. We have it back in the middle of dreams. No one throwing in the towel here. Denver, they leave without it. Go back in for more. Some people get by with a little love. Some people need a hole and a hell lot more. Hell hole in the middle. They get it out. Okies in front, ridden from behind. Let the record play, says the umpire. Right half forward, 18. You can see me now. There's Clark. Clark kicks towards the wing, connects. Up the ground a little bit further now. A little bit further now. Back of the pack. All Okies couldn't get a handle on the top. Kirk looming again. 17 came in like that. There was Johnson. Jettisons towards inside 50. Inside field goal range. Oklahoma can get a handle. I can. I'm tackled. I get the ball on out and support. Takes a cruel bounce. Well, they have 3 men on support there, the Okies. They elect to go handball. Denver another chance. Backdoor man, number 14. Happy to be. Long line shot on goal. Wide, short, good hit. Hand came up, you could see from the Denver player trying to claim that his opponent was holding the ball, and that's the way it is. You can see Greg Everett saying that player at the base of the pack, the Okie, scooped the ball back in, was tackled, and hence the free kick to the number 8, I believe it is there, in Richard Mann.
I think that might be Baden Goodall.
Oh, Baden Goodall, in fact.
He has way too much hair to be Richard Mann.
He does. 5. My eyesight is deceiving me, but I won't be leaving this guy's line. As the boys line up, it's up, and away, and 6 points to the Bulldogs, who are on fire in the last 2 minutes. They move now to Brian, is it 2 goals, 3? It is.
2 goals, 1, 13.
2 goals to 1, 13, in fact, to 3 points, Brian Barry.
13-3. The lead is now 10 points, and for a minute there, they're red, white, and blue are the Bulldogs. I thought I was watching the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Watch the weave, watch the little handballs as they get that. And the thing is when that happens, the Okies on defense or anybody on defense have to come to the ball. They have to step up and disrupt those passes, because otherwise it'll create those chances like we just saw right there. Ball will come back in the middle of the ground. The umpire heaves the ball. The big men go at it. Gravity takes effect, and Denver again wins it. Well, now they are asserting their chances here as the ball gets knocked down. Oklahoma trying to get it out of the back. Tried to pick that one up, goes back to the carpet, and now they'll pick that one up, and he's going to bootleg around. He did a 360, comes out to the near side, and the mark is taken. No, it isn't. I mozzed him. Whoops. And now they're going to have it in. Now he has to get away for some pressure. Again, the 26 in there is Jeremy O'Connell, and Clark spins him around like a merry-go-round. He didn't have to even pay for that ride, and the ball goes out of bounds once again as it's now marooned on this side of the field. Great pressure by Denver, and that's what's creating these chances.
Speaking about maroon, don't forget about Gilligan's Island on Sunday night down at the Quay. With the Sunday night party will be through the middle. Will it be me, says the big ruck man. The ruck man is on its way and gives it all his love, and bark woof to the forward line. Denver Bulldogs have got some woofing to do down there. Nearly spin a runner by the number 18 for the Okie Dokies. Oh, he was caught holding the ball, and a good dramatic performance description there by umpire Barrett. Good tackle there by the Bulldogs. They need to do a bit of barking on the other side. No connection there, but a 2-on-1 situation. Okies come back in for more. Nevertheless, on the ground they go. Was it a high tackle? No. Let it go. Let it blossom. Let it flow. Bootleg to the left. Send it towards the wing. It's all the Okies. I'll pick it up and boom it towards the centre half forward position and beyond, like Sarasota Beaches and beyond at Lakewood Ranch. Kirkwood under the ball. Was he going to pull it, and he won't. Time was against him, like playing with matches in a barrel of gasoline. It's Alice, in fact, couldn't get out. Not as athletic as he used to be. The US Revolution coach on their way to Melbourne. Needle in a haystack. They come together right now over the footy. Is that Alice once again? No, it's not. Looks like Tommy Alice. And the ball is over and out. You'd aspire to be a Tommy Alice, wouldn't you, if you're playing out there?
I would, but I think he's long retired.
It's Kirk, in fact. But you can see who he's modeling himself
look like
on.
Alice,
He's got a bit about Alice about him. That's a man, Kirk. Let's get away. I want to let it rip, let it fly, middle of the ground towards the centre. The Cooper's logo on our wing, centre of the ground, though, in the middle. He's been prominent, that big ruckman for the Okie Doke. They've got some size out there, and size does matter. And I've got some pace to race towards the forward line. Worm-burning kick. Denver chop him off at the pass. Tackle, just got the handball away. Back in for more, Denver. Get on my horse and ride, cowboy, towards the wing.
Nice
they
mark.
connect there at the right half-back flank, and they're going to slow things down. Tempo towards the wing. Wide receive towards the boundary, and they connect out there, Brian. As you can see, as half-time here at the football, what have you got, Brian?
Well, yeah, it's definitely in this first half, Denver has really, I think, stepped up. And the one thing that they're doing, as we mentioned, Oklahoma did get a little bit of a run there. Great job by Ben Walker. He looked up, he saw it in front of him. They just got to lead a little bit better.
So it was a false horn we heard. The boys played to a different horn, and they're still rolling here. Everyone's stopped, but you can't stop until you hear the whistle. There's a whistle on the play, a push against Denver, and going the way of Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma probably need to score before this thing is through in the first half.
For real.
They've got it at the right half-back flank. Will they ride the highway through the middle, pick it up? They're going to ride it like all day long in a long line. Who will reel it in down there, back of the pack? Legs need to use them. 18 didn't take it. Took so long to bake it, but Denver have that defensive memory once again. Oh yes, Okies in, out the back, attack, online, smothered, go back in for more. Nevertheless, pick up, shoot, score to the left-hand side of only a minor to the Okies. So they move to 4 points, trailing Denver, who are 2 goals, 1 on the Cooper scoreboard, Brian.
Back to 9 points, and Alex Marakian, the veteran there, he just went, put on his hard hat and tried to chip away at the goal and ended up with well, cubic zirconia as he comes out to the near side. That's supposed to mean 1 point. Wow, that one went straight. I think that just found the field of play. I think the boundary umpire agrees. This wind is blowing towards the camera as you watch on Go Live Sportscast and blowing towards us here in the commentary position. And that's going to wreak havoc with those kicks, and it's going to wreak havoc with this one. And coming up to get it, little one-on-one contest, bounces by Dylan Braun and goes to pick that one up. That's our siren, and that is for real. Halftime at the football here on Cooper's Field and Go Live Sportscast. The score: it's the Denver Bulldogs reserves 2 goals, 1 behind, 13 points. The Oklahoma Okies 4 behinds. And Grilla, as I started to say when we thought the half ended, I like, we just saw there Oklahoma just starting to probe a little bit more. They got to be a little bit cleaner with their kicks, but that pressure is really paying off on the Denver side.
It is paying off, and the fact that they've got the payload through the uprights twice against the breeze, it's almost like the wind could be in the bank. But we've seen more mysterious things happen in football every moment. Another chance. Here's your chance now to grab a 4 and 20 pie and some merchandise there into the tent. Some great designs, and the design. Talk to me about the design on your fantastic hat that you have there. I believe that's done by a fellow by the name, is it Aaron Ten Burn?
Yeah, Aaron Ten Burn is a pretty good footballer in his own right for the Houston Lone Stars. Did a fantastic job. He also, if you've seen the Houston Lone Stars logo, they have a brand new logo for their 10th anniversary. He's the one that did that. He did a fantastic job. But yeah, he did a great job on these turtle hats. Go get one if they're still there. There's also turtle shirts, turtle koozies, and all that other stuff. And also there's the main logo that I'm wearing here with the palm trees and the flamingos by Dan Milborn of the Bunyip Collective, who's based in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, an old teammate of mine with the Philadelphia Hawks. So great designs.
Some great stuff. Make sure you grab some merchandise before you leave. Christmas is only around the corner. Take it home to the family, because we are a family here in the USAFL. We'll leave it right there. Halftime this match between Oklahoma and Denver, Division 3. More of need was a number 17 there in Alex Johnson. Johnson being a jet, the kid's a jet in this match, and jettisons towards centre half forward. Good mark. Leaning back like old grandpa in his rocking chair with an interstate through his front yard there, the number 3 for Denver, and that is Clark. Clark legs it right foot. Clark might have been part of the kicking competition last night. Brian misses everything, takes a bounce over and out. Well, there's no shortage of professional athletes and professional people in USAFL. Everyone's a professional at every level. Aaron Phillips, Mason Cox, both in the house.
Yeah, they're both in the house today. It was great to have some informal chats with both of them last night, especially Aaron Phillips, who's really become an ambassador for the women's game. And, you know, just seeing everyone get excited to be around her last night, take photographs, talk to her, and really just get behind her, which was fantastic. And she'll hopefully be recovered in time from that injury she suffered. As we play action here, the ball gets knocked down, and that one will go through, I think, for another behind. Yes, it will. So point to for the Bulldogs, I believe. I forget who's going to that side.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, for the Bulldogs as that one goes through. This is the second game of 7 I'm doing today. So point to the Bulldogs. They go to 4-3-27, 1-4-10 for the Okies. It's back to 7 points, and it might be a bridge too far at this point, Grill.
Well, we take it a little easier for Sunday morning to come around too, Brian. We've got a long day ahead of us, but we love it. There's Kirk. What will he do? Tries a snap shot. Who'll be the big shot down there? The big fella for Okie. Good mark. Gets the ground. Kirk with a little sneaky peek. Soccer through the pack, ping, ching, ping out of the pack, and ricochets into the side rubber and over and out. Another throw in, but this match now probably a little bit beyond the Okies. Okay, we'll take a look at the scoreboard. Denver 27 versus 10. Of course, they rode that Mustang out of the chute, did Denver, with those 2 goals early against the Breeze. They want, though, they talk about percentage. 23 you can see there was camping. Decides to move the party down towards the full forward region. Soccer on goal by Denver, and guess what? They've got another one just like the 4 other ones. They move to 5 goals, 33, leading the Okies 1-4-10, Brian.
I think the dam is starting to break open just a little bit now, and they're starting to flood forward against this stout Oklahoma defense. But great job in there, and there's some really good leads that we're seeing in the man there. We see Kirk come out. We've seen Goodall come out.
Yep.
And we're also starting to see, we've seen Johnson come out the entire game, and that's been the main difference here. And this Bulldog side, I mean, as good as Oklahoma is, and they've really built up. They won the Division IV championship back in 2017. It was their first ever title, but I think they're getting schooled here a little bit by this Bulldog side.
In the middle again, the middle of dreams. Dob it down towards centre half forward. Everyone's kind of fallen asleep down there. Kirk fell to ground. Johnson out the side door he went. Number 3 you can see is Clark. Clark dodges the old okey doke, sets sail on its way. Dutchy right hand side, minor score, and through for a minor point.
4:34 on the Coopers scoreboard. It's 4 straight kicks over Oklahoma, 1-4-10. And they will put the ball back in the play from the, once they get it from the other side of the equestrian range over there. That's what it looks like. It looks like they're keeping horses over there at Lakewood Ranch. Maybe that's who's eating all the grass. I don't know. As that one ping-pongs around off the hands of Marakian, and the umpire says that's a push in the back. It'll be a free kick. We got to talk about these umpires. These the ones in the green are the level 1 and level 2 umpires, and the orange-shirted ones are the ones just learning. That's going to be sent in towards the sticks. Nice mark taken in front, and that puts an end to that nonsense. They come out to the near side again, marked by the number 11. He takes the mark in front of a late-arriving number 20 unlisted, and then Marakian, long handball up over the middle. He dropped the pill. He dropped the cherry. Not a good idea. He was trying to play soccer there. Was the man in Garcia. Remember, this is Aussie rules football, not soccer, but Garcia remembers he can use his hands, then turns it over to Marakian, who says, thanks, buddy, and then sends that one forward, and here come the Okies. Here
we come, pouring out of the blue or the green, the Okies, full forward region. The big fella was in front, the big shot, but he hit the deck. Number 3, Spinorama towards the goal, shoots, and shepherded out, and it's a goal.
Yes.
Much to the delight of the Okies alongside me, and we will fight and stand and fight for our rights with the Okies side. They move to 2 goals, 4 now, that's 16. Trailing, though, a ways in front, the Denver Bulldogs, 5 goals for 34, but gotta admire the Okies. Up against it a little, as I spoke about earlier, with regards to the D1 fabric of this side. But we will play this thing right out to the end. In a couple of quick goals, you never know, Brian.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what will happen on nationals because things just change such quick. We mentioned the Oklahoma Okies over here with the cheering section. I just want to point out I see a Florida Redbacks jersey right here. Yeah. I remember them. Of course, the new club, the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, who are playing down in Divi 4 alongside the Fort Lauderdale Fighting Squids. We might see them a little bit later on. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Lakewood Ranch, in point of fact, yeah. Here comes Denver. They're up by 3 goals, and taking the nice mark again was Drew Wolf, who flew in. He looked like Spider-Man, but took the mark.
He did. Nice stuff, Brian. Keep rolling.
Here we go. Yeah. Well, Wolf's going to line up. Kick is from 48.5 meters. Big, booming kick. The wind takes it. Did it take it across the face? It did. That's a point. First point in a bit for the Bulldogs. They go to 6-5-35. Rather, that's 5-5-35. I can math. The lead is 19 points, 2-4-16. That's on the Cooper scoreboard here on Go Live Sportscast.
And thanks to Bob last night, too, at our Skills Spectacular for his math. What a great innovation that was by the USAFL. And I think there's footage of that too, Brian, which you can find on the USAFL website, I would imagine, later in the week. It's all about the man. It's I'm a mighty good man. Now, I use that reference a couple of times when he hasn't been on the field, and I got really wrapped over the knuckles for it. So there's only one man in this competition, the mighty man, a co-founder of this league, in fact, and here he goes. Rich man across the play on the slant route and makes the connection on the outer side with his number 9 is Dowling. We talk about these old names from Division 1 fabric. 2 of those were on that occasion. Now you can see what I mean. Look at that, around the arc to create the space on the outer side, AFA Styles. And can they finish this game off in style? The Denver Bulldogs. They'll be having a shot from inside 50. A class display at this stage. Early day Saturday. What a day it is for the Bulldogs. Didn't go the distance, but they got the distance between them and their opponents, the Okies, on the Coopers scoreboard. So there's a few bodies in front of the scoreboard, but I can just see it. 35 in fact. 5-5-35 Denver to 2 goals for the Okies. And once again, as we see after every match, the magnificent spirit and sportsmanlike conduct that is in the heart of this great game, USAFL. Australian rules football here in the States. This is our 23rd Nationals. Been together for a while now, like snake oil. Been around for a long time. And it's great to see the people who are just maybe finding out about it today, and some key sporting people indeed.
Oh, absolutely. We've got a lot of people here. We have Andrew Hughes from the AFL is here. We have the young lady, Alicia, I believe, from the Essendon Football Club is here as well. We mentioned Aaron Phillips. We mentioned Mason Cox. And we mentioned the golfer, Aaron Wood, who has mentioned us as well. Yep. But I'll tell you what, Grill, that sets up Denver really well. They have the early lead on percentage. We'll see how they go in this group in Division 3. We got a really good one coming up. We got a great one coming up next. The Sacramento Suns against the other team with a D1 side that has a lot of D1 pedigree. The Austin Crows should be a good one.
So that's a Division 3 Pool A match coming up here at 11 o'clock. And then on Field 2, it is Seattle versus Denver. That's women's D1 Pool A, Brian. We move across to Field 3. That'll be Los Angeles versus Quebec. That's men's Division 1 Pool A. Field 4, Portland versus Baltimore, a D2 Pool B. And Field 5, rounding off the 11 a.m. slot, Philadelphia. That's a name to your heart, the tear in your eye, I guess, Brian. Philadelphia, Arizona, Baltimore, Boston conglomerate versus Columbus, Nashville, North Star. That's women's 2B, and quite a mouthful. Thank you, brother. And that's the way it is. We'll take a break here. Chris, give us a little that music you've got there tucked away, and we'll be right on back. In the meantime, don't forget, keep your eye on the Cooper's tent opening up in a couple of hours or so. But to then, make sure you stay very well hydrated and get yourself a little something to eat with a 4 and 20 pie, a proud sponsor of this wonderful tournament, the largest tournament of Australian rules football in the world, with over 1,500 athletes, 4 men's divisions, 2 women's divisions, about 90 games across 2 days, complete with finals, go live sportscast coverage, ESPN3. Make sure you get it out at